Kind of the energy of somebody wanting to remind you that they're still here, they're still in your energy in some way, and it's not showing up like off-putting. It's just showing up like somebody kind of tapping someone in the middle of like a meeting where they're really busy and being like, hey, like just want to remind you that like you've got like other obligations here, so like, it's kind of more so coming off like they're tapping you because they understand or maybe have respect for the energy that you're in. They know that you're busy. They would kind of like to show up in some way, but it's like this raccoon energy. Often when I pull this card, I see it as like somebody kind of lurking or being shy is what this card is about before they kind of express themselves or show up fully. And I feel like this person's not doing it from a place of like they feel small or like they can't. It's just that it's almost like they're doing it as a response that is kind of like the right response, but a response to you doing your thing. And so it's kind of showing up like it's respectful, where they want to be respectful of the energy that you are currently in. But they, at the same time, they do want to like put some time for them on your calendar, basically. And so it's like a little bit of like they're poking your energy a little bit. So that's not what these cards really are about, but looking at them immediately, that's the energy that I'm getting. So I want to tap into this person's energy, but first I want to tap into yours to kind of see like what's going on with you. Are you really busy? Like what is it here that this person maybe feels like they see, or they feel like they have to be respectful of? What are you prioritizing here that this person understands and sees also as a priority of yours? And while I'm pulling cards about your current situation or your current priorities, I am trying to get my YouTube back up and running here. Have patience. It's been a while and I don't feel rushed to do it anymore because of the TikTok ban. So if you guys do feel like following me over there, you're welcome to join the squad. So I feel like you're kind of at this place where you're recognizing that your mind and your communication skills in every area of your life are completely necessary, and you're almost being put in positions where you're being asked to show up to the best of your ability or to the capacity you can with air sign, cycles, and communicate. We have Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. I'm more so just seeing it as like the King or Queen of Swords energy for you. We also have cycles, fates, karma, something ending, something beginning, and then communicate, compromise, forgive, work it out. I almost feel like there's kind of this vibe of like somebody saying goodbye to like a past employer or past job situation, and it's giving like this vibe of you handle yourself very professionally when you do this. And it's also like with patience, let go, spy, and then moving. There are some changes that are happening in multiple areas that I think somebody understands, or they see how you move through this. And it's like they peep you somehow, especially with spy and the raccoon card here. It's not really giving like creepy energy. Like, yeah, this person, they're lurking, but at the same time, I feel like you're kind of in an energy where you're just focused. I don't want to say like on your grind, but I think it's just giving me this energy of like somebody who, you could work an administrative job, or you could be like, you could deal with a lot of paperwork or a lot of like HR, like communications on like a daily basis. And I kind of feel like there's this energy of like, you do understand or know how to compartmentalize your time and how to make space and time for things that you need to. And you also understand how to like, you could be in the middle of like an ascension with this let go card. It says make room for the new beginning that's on its way to you. I feel like you're trying to pivot, but I think you understand like in doing that in a lot of sections of your life, it's requiring you to kind of like bring closure to certain things in a way that still kind of leaves like the door open. So I'm seeing it as somebody in an office job and they already put their 2 weeks in. They communicated it. They're maintaining the relationship with that business, but you're also sort of like finishing some things up and doing it correctly so that you can kind of move forward with this new situation that you kind of already set up. It's giving like you're remaining very grounded and very steady, and your communication is a reflection of that. And you being on top of things and kind of like knocking it all out is kind of also a reflection of your ability to remain patient in in times where things are changing. Which is reminding me a lot of yesterday's reading. Also, the candle that I have lit right now is like, the wick is really close to the wax, and so it's like buzzing, making this weird buzzing. Oh, it just went out. Hold on. It's reminding me of like an office call where you're on a meeting and you're like, oh, we lost service. I also feel like you're a collective. Like once you get in the zone with something, you are very much like, you finish the project, like you complete this, you don't really let a lot of things sit. An emphasis on like organization, structure, like you're very much in your King of Swords right now. I also think that this person, I want to say this spy energy and this raccoon energy isn't really giving like, I feel forgotten or I feel like you're unapproachable. I think it's more so an energy of like, honestly, it's giving, I want to respect this and keep this at a distance, or I feel like I have to kind of stay at a certain distance while this person is doing whatever this is or making these changes. It leads me to believe that you have informed this person about either a job change or you moving homes, or something here that like, I'm picturing two people like meeting up or being on a date, and it's almost giving like, oh, let's meet up on my lunch break and like just chit chat, like almost formally. You could also be somebody who like, when you do show up and make time and space for this person while you're in this zone, you're still very much checked into like this this zone where you are like, mommy's taking care of business energy. Air sign cycles and communicate, compromise, forgive, work it out. There's something here that I think you've addressed with this person. I want to say in like the last month or sometime in this summer, where you maybe let this person know like where you stand, or that there is going to have to be some kind of compromise that the two of you figure out so that you can give it the attention that it deserves. Otherwise, it's giving this energy of like, okay, well, you're gonna have to put it on my calendar, because if you don't feel confident, take all the time you need, but I'm not gonna sit here and like wait for you to figure out how you want to compromise. You're like, I am busy, like. But because of that, that's where this person I think is like, okay, like they might have to kind of remind you, or like, hey, I don't want to get in your way or ruin your process here, but I also like, I'm ready to talk to you or come to you with this energy of like, this is how I'd like to assess this thing or show up for this thing, if that makes sense. It also has spy and then moving. It says someone's got their eye on you. You are doing more research, or you are doing research. And then moving, change of residence, moving in with your partner. You could have like nourish, self-growth, self-focus, finding. You could, I feel like this is the energy of somebody who works in like an office building, or you have like some kind of 9 to 5, or there's some kind of structured career that you are currently in. This collective, it seems very clear that that is the case. I also feel like you could, with moving, you could have like recently signed a lease for an apartment, or you could have lived with your parents and you're trying to invest time or be patient to change your living situation here. I also feel like you're in like your corporate girly era. That's what this is looking like, because it's like you have time that you spend on yourself, right? For your self-growth, for your nourishment, for soul finding, but you also have like the patience for things that you are trying to maintain a connection with, but you're understanding that those situations are changing. You also are an extremely precise communicator. Like, it's showing up like, you guys, King of Swords energy. obscurity, secrets, mysteries, concealing. I want to say this person is like, I feel like part of the reason why you're being so structured with yourself right now is because you've maybe had to deal with being patient with this person or this situation or these types of situations that you're now like the ball is rolling with. Like you've had to be patient with those, and that has been something where it felt like maybe you just had to like release all control to it, and it's like, okay, well, the only thing I have control of is me right now, so I'm going to not focus on all the unknown here, all the mystery, all the obscure, and I am going to focus on me, because what I can do in this time is grow who I am as a person, receive, and then open. Celebration, gifts, abundance. You could, I'm imagining like somebody bringing you flowers at work, or somebody buying you tickets for like a show, or there's something here about like there's this energy of like you could be single and people are like courting you, I guess, but it's giving very like by the books, and people see you as very it's a classy energy. I love this for you. Celebration, receive, gifts, open, abundance. It's not giving like standards. It's just giving like you are somebody who people want to show up in this way for, and so you've kind of manifested a life or a situation where people do, and you know that you deserve that. Also, it could be that like you just celebrated someone's birthday. We have nurture and compassion. For some reason, this is reminding me of like somebody having a really close relationship with their mother. And then we have deception and temptation. I kind of also feel like this is a collective who, because you have your shit together, you might like a little bit of, how do I say this? Women who are very in control in their day-to-day life often like when there's a little bit of unpredictable and like I can't control type of circumstances in their relationship. Or it's like you're gonna get bored if you can control everything. So there is, you need a hint of you don't get to be the boss in that. And so with deception and temptation, it could be something where with nurture and compassion, you have somebody in your life, or this person, this raccoon energy, I'm going to call them that, I guess, because we haven't pulled cards on their energy. That energy is someone's who it's giving, and we have apology over here. And this guy's like, fucked up for something. It's giving this vibe of like, like this person almost has this energy of like, they feel like they have to make up for something. And I kind of feel like, that, or it wouldn't be, I kind of feel like it wouldn't be unexpected but for me to say that to you, you might be like, yeah, no. But I also feel like you know this person, and you being involved with this person, it's like they might often be in that position where they kind of have to make up for things because of the type of people that, I don't want to say that you attract, but the type of people that you like the type of people you are attracted to. This person specifically. So spy, watching, inspecting. I don't know if this is toxic or what, but, and then masculine. This is the type of person who, they have an ego that, I don't know if I want to say ego, but like their ego is here, and your ability to control and call the shots is also here. And they can't really, it's kind of funny that they're showing up like, can you make some time for me? Like, hey, just want to remind you. That in itself is a little bit like sway for no sway. Like, just the type of person that this is, them having an energy like that, it's like, here, this is trouble. Like, this person is trouble. This person's very much in your energy. They could be, I don't know why I'm seeing someone like sending an email. This person could literally be emailing you. It could almost be like joking, like, excuse me, ma'am, I'd like to like, I'd like to book like an hour of your time if, you know, you can find that on your calendar. Like, let me know, that'd be appreciated. Best regards. But there is an energy of this person kind of feeling like they need to be confident, because I don't think you guys are together. You also have lusting, forbidden, non-committal sexual energy, and then that masculine came out again. I feel like you know that you kind of have to have boundaries with this person, because, or you might have to be a little bit like, you're at a place in this relationship with this person where you feel like, yes, I'm open to accepting, you know, and receiving, like this card says, gifts and compassion, and, you know, being celebrated by this person and being nurtured by this person. And that's great. I'll accept that. But I also know this person, and I got my eye on them, and I'm seeing spy and moving as you're still observing how this person moves. Like, you're not, you see the situation. That's very King of Swords, Queen of Swords energy. And I also feel like, yes, there is a part of this person that feels like they understand why you're maybe like, okay, well, the leash is this long and the situation with this person, or I don't trust them as far as I can throw them. You guys both understand. Let's see if there's anything else in the last 30 seconds before we tap into this person's energy. So I feel like this is, once we get into this person's energy, it's going to be a lot. Epiphany, breakthrough, on top of masculine. This person also is somebody who, they're not just like a deceptive person that's like kind of, you know, feeling like they have to earn their way back into your life. I guess I'm already tapping into this person's energy. I didn't even I didn't even finish. Masculine and then epiphany and breakthrough in relation to your energy before I just dive right into this person. Like into their scheduled 15 minutes of me talking about them, I guess. This is something where I think you've had an epiphany or a breakthrough in regards to this person. And I also feel like it's kind of giving this vibe of like, it maybe feels so empowering to kind of be where you're at in this situation or in your life in general. Like I said, because of this theme of feeling like you've kind of been at the mercy of being patient for things. And now you're seeing that you're kind of fully in control of these things, and like things happen on your time, and people are kind of maybe for the first time having to be very respectful of your boundaries. And sometimes that happens when they disrespect our boundary, and then it reminds us like, oh yeah, I guess I kind of have to, it's like this person's reminding me that I have to be a certain way with them. And it does kind of, it's a common thing that happens to divine feminines. It's like it puts you back into that energy of like, oh, thank you for reminding me who I am, and that I actually don't have to like deal with this version of this person. And I am also reminded that I'm not the version of me that is going to deal with that anymore. And I still feel like you're also very accepting and very open, and it doesn't feel like you're giving them this energy. I think you remind yourself of your own boundaries, and I think this person reminds you of your own boundaries, and you uphold them. It's almost like you may have noticed in the past year, if you've been involved with this person for this long, that a few things, like when you start slipping a little bit and this person, especially if they're kind of deceptive here and like a little bit of like secret mystery, like they get themselves in situations with you where they feel like they kind of have to show up and like ask for forgiveness. I feel like those situations might happen right at the time where you're slipping, and it kind of whips you back into shape, which might be part of the reason why you are so attracted to the situation with this person. And I also feel like this is something where with patience and let go, I feel like you might give yourself a hard time for the fact that, you know, sorrow, loss, grief, depression, finality, farewell, leave behind, closure. this is a situation where maybe you feel like you never have closure, you can't leave this person behind. And so with this epiphany and breakthrough card, like I was talking about, this run-on sentence, it's like you maybe feel like you finally kind of have more control over yourself, and that this situation, like you're not stuck in this loop of it having control over you. But I feel like you're trying to be compassionate with yourself and not judge yourself, because I do think that you're kind of judging yourself maybe for your involvement with this person, or for them being your wish fulfillment, because I think that this person is. Apology and forgiveness is right underneath wish fulfillment. I feel like this, also the beach could be relevant. You could live in a beach city. This person could kind of look like this. Or they could have tattoos. This guy has tattoos on his hands. Return. Second chance, opportunity, making amends. So this person does feel like there's something here that they like. It's like there is an energy of them feeling like they have to kind of have permission or be permitted to return in some sense to show up for you. But it is giving like this person's self-aware. They have respect for that, right? So you might be like, yeah, I mean, I hope so, because that's their problem. Like, they put themselves in that position. But I'm going to pull some cards on their energy, because I want to tap in. I want to see, like, we have intuition. The red flags that you ignore now will come back to bite you later. I feel like you're actually being, like, a little bit more, like you're holding yourself accountable. And I also feel like part of that comes with you understanding the places where you hadn't in this relationship. And I think you maybe are judging yourself a little bit harshly, because it's like, we can't help who we love, right? Like love is not really an emotion that we can control for the most part when we actually let ourselves feel it. So I want to know what's going on with this person. With that intuition card, I kind of feel like, with it talking about red flags, I kind of feel like you have this energy of like, you know that this person comes with like this energy, or you just sort of accepted that this person is still at this place. And whether you're giving them grace or not, I think that you know that as you're still operating in this relationship with them, it's this energy of like, you kind of have to accept that you're choosing to do this, so you're accepting some responsibility for interacting with this person while they're in this energy. Like, you're not dumb, right? You fully know that like you're choosing to put yourself in this situation. So we also have healing, releasing, purifying, cleansing. I kind of feel like this is a situation where this person has like tried to stand on business with the fact that they're like healing, right? Or this could be something where you guys were together, and you're like, okay, dude, like, I'll watch from a distance and I'll still accept like the compassion you want to show up with, but I still feel like you don't really trust that this person actually is wanting to change. You might feel like this person's kind of putting on a bit of a show for you, because this person don't want you going anywhere. Beauty, charming, graceful, kind-hearted, past, lack, suffering. Oof. I feel like this person right now, I let my dog out and I sat back down and I like yapped for 3 minutes, and then I recognized that the timer was not going off, which I'm taking that as a sign that I need to fix the way that I communicate this message. So I think this person feels very guilty. This person feels guilty for seeing you suffer at the hand of the decisions that they were self-aware that they were making. And I don't mean like this person doing this from a place that was like external stuff outside of your guys' relationship. That could have also been the case. I feel like this person feels guilty because they feel like they sabotaged your guys' connection with how they acted in the connection, which means like with toxicity, we have victim mentality. We also have free-spirited adventures, risk, attraction, avoidance, decisions, and then wish fulfillment. It's like part of the reason that this person feels so guilty is because they fully know that they were sabotaging what they actually do want as like, or see as their relationship, like their end all be all, right? Like you guys could have talked about the future, you could have talked about getting married, that kind of thing. But they know that the decisions that they made in this situation, when it comes to like your guys' arguments specifically, they feel a lot of guilt for. And it's like they deserve to feel this guilt for this collective. Like you would agree with that. I do feel like you suffered, but it's not one of those situations where it's like, well, you signed up for it. It's like, no, you have a relationship, you love this person, you're trying to be patient with them, and yeah, you saw sides of them that, and because of that, like you got to experience sides of them that were shitty, that you did suffer from. And I don't really think it's fully coming from a place of like you had low self-worth or like you just couldn't stand up for yourself or you're a dorm. No, I think that you wanted this person to grow. You knew that they were self-aware. You knew that this was something they were struggling with. I do feel like it got to a point though where it was maybe like it went way past. Like this was, it's toxic, right? With karma. I feel like you give yourself a hard time though because you knew this. Like you knew who you were getting yourself involved with to some extent. You're like, no, it makes sense that I put myself in that position, but I feel like you don't give yourself as much grace as you should. Because it still doesn't mean you deserved to feel that, even though at one point maybe you thought some of this tumultuous chaos was thrilling. Yeah, pride, arrogance, ego, stubborn, ego, vanity, and pride. I feel like part of the reason that you maybe put up with or dealt with or were so considerate of this person acting in certain ways that was their ego and their arrogance and their stubbornness and their heat was because you feel like you dished it out just as equally. And so maybe you feel like you had to give this person some grace because you're like, it is what it is. Forming structure, solid foundation. I do feel like this person is actually like, yeah, they have an ego, they have pride, but they're not gonna completely like dismantle that. Like whoever this is giving this King of Wands energy. This person needs that, right? But I think that you being so like assertive and confident about who you are and what you want in your life and how I was talking about like your job and the way that you like get shit moving and you take care of business. I do think that there's something about this person maybe feeling like it got to their ego and that was something that they feel like with the scale in the middle of both ego situations. It's like you maybe feel like, yeah, I earned this. I did this myself. Like I am allowed to have pride in that. And like I'm worth that. And this person maybe you guys could have both butt heads a little bit. We also have forming structure and solid foundation. I feel like you guys moved as a unit for a lot of this stuff. Cycles, change, completion. I was saying, I feel like this person, they are wanting to get themselves out of the cycle. This person does fully see what you were communicating to them. I do think whatever your guys' relationship is right now probably is a lot of just like we have attraction and hot. I feel like it's a lot of that and a lot of this person feeling like they need to show up in a certain way to even have access to you right now. Because I think that you're not coming from a place of ego. You're coming from a place of like, no, I recognize that like I can't keep putting myself in a situation where I don't hold myself to certain standards in this vibe, because I know what it's like when I get a little too comfortable and forget like I feel like you're being strict with yourself and in your communication and efforts with this person at all. And it's okay, you're a grown adult. It's like you're not, I think you're trying not to put yourself in a position where you feel like you're a victim in the situation because you know this person and you know how far they take it. And I also feel like you are keeping yourself accountable in that regard, but you also are still involved with this person. And I think this person, you know them to be self-aware enough to understand that like they do need to recognize their cycles and to actually put some effort into forming some solid structure, like this card says, and making some attempts to kind of like move their situation along in their life in whatever that looks like. And then we have that rejection, loss, fragmented. I do feel like you breaking up or you keeping this person at a distance in some regard it did play a huge effect in this person actually wanting to get their shit together in some way. But I don't think you're putting a ton, like that doesn't hold water, right? Like you're not letting that, you're not just banking on like the hope of that. You're like fully like, yeah, well, I'll put your money where your mouth is and I'll see it when I believe it, but I'll still interact with you and accept like the love that you're coming to me with. You're still in receiving energy when it comes to this person. Memories and nostalgia. I do feel like this person right now is reflecting on both of you guys. I feel like also this person's maybe reflecting right now or having a lot of nostalgia about like the heat in this relationship. Damn, dude, these flies. You could have also been worried about people like talking about your guys' connection or really understanding the severity of like how toxic this situation looked. I feel like that is a big thing. Like you guys could have had family members who were in very close proximity to your guys' relationship. You could have had friends who you had similar groups of friends, and so you guys had to try and keep your guys' dynamic like just between the two of you, but it almost seems like it was impossible and you were both in your own right worried about the perception of others because you guys know that this situation was one where you guys operated in your own way and the way your relationship worked, but this is one where from the outside, yeah, it looked like one where you maybe people would have thought you were suffering, right? And I think that this person is reflecting on that. I think you're also maybe reflecting on that. I don't think this person like wants that for this. And I think I kind of feel like this person's going to stand on business. So I'm going to do one more part to kind of see if there's advice for you, if it's okay to move forward with whatever this person's maybe wanting to move forward with. Because I get an energy that like, yeah, I support you in the way that you're showing up to this situation and not cutting this person off. But I still think that it's like you kind of have to continue to operate how you're operating with your guard not fully down with this person, because this is giving somebody who does not have control of like a certain version of them that shows up that takes over, and they're still kind of like a victim of their own, of a certain side of them. So I want to see if it's like safe to show up, or if it's like okay to continue to maybe relax into this a little bit, or trust that this person's coming from a place where like it's okay or it's safe to give this situation some attention or some, open your heart up a bit. The Hanged Man in reverse. It's kind of like your guide saying, no, you see the situation pretty clearly, but at the same time, we're not going to hold you back and put you in separation with this person. You're willingly putting yourself in this situation with this person. So sometimes you have to be the one to hold yourself accountable and tie yourself back to this tree. That it's like, the effect that the pull on the situation has. And I don't think you're letting yourself get pulled into it, but it's like, stand on that. I don't think there's anything here that like, the world. You've got a complete perspective of the situation. You know who you're dealing with here. You guys have probably been involved for a long time. You also know your power. You know that you have the world and the devil. You know how the situation looks, and you're not... You might almost kind of feel like you have to admit that or acknowledge that when you talk to people about this connection. I'm feeling called to like pull more of these. Caution. As I was pulling that, find out more information, don't overwork yourself. you know that you have to have this person at a certain proximity. Like you can't let them fully in, because you know that this person has a side of them that when they operate out of their ego, there is this energy of like they aggressively want control. And if you aren't able to maintain your grip on who you are and that feeling of empowerment, it is something where it is not in your best interest to operate in a relationship with this person. It goes beyond just like, you know, this person quenches a thirst that only they can. It's like, no, you know, it gets into toxic territory. This also, like this devil card and the world card, you guys, you could be like, you could have a little bit of like a BDSM element to this relationship, but there are very blurred lines in that regard. You're keeping yourself in check here, narcissist. I almost want to say you know that you have to have caution with this person, because I want to say you do. Like you have in the past almost accepted that this person has a way about them that, you know how it goes. But I kind of feel like, based in the way that you're currently operating, if you don't lose your guard here, I want to say you're a grown woman, or like you're a grown man. You know what you're involving yourself with. I don't think this person is you're not letting yourself get too comfortable here. I'm almost conflicted about getting this message. Knowledge, you know. I kind of feel like part of this is like you understand this person actually is very misunderstood, but we change your tune. I just feel like this is something where this situation really tests you in regards to like how you have in the past easily let someone else convince you of who you are. And so this person with this devil card, caution, narcissist, you stay back often because you know and are fully aware now that this person knows how to rope you into a cycle. And I think this person does not want to be in that cycle because they don't want to be that person anymore. They are not at a place where they are in control of that, or they feel in control of it. And I know that that would invite people to be like, yeah, they can just act right. It's like, people have really fucking intense trauma, and they don't just act like this for fun a lot of the time, right? Especially with a relationship that they care this much about. I think for you, you understand when it's time to pivot. You also understand when you're not letting this person take the reins. So trust your path. If you knew that you would be supported, what would you do? I think you've wanted to empower the version of this person that actually can lead this relationship and lead in their life in a way where they feel like they don't have to fight for control so aggressively in the way that they have in the past. And I also feel like you are somebody who does make them want to do that, but you have gotten yourself to a place where you do not feel like you are in control of that, or like you need to guide this person in that way. You're hands off. So you've got control of yourself in this situation. Dance with life, do something to change your energy. I kind of feel like if this is the right collective, this reading maybe makes you feel like you want to have a little more caution in dealing with this person, because this would have reminded you of a lot, that this person is still, this might be coming right at the right time. And if this is the right collective, I don't think you're like, yay, Courtney's giving me permission to fuck with this person that is so bad for my health. If that's how you're feeling right now, I'm not advising you to go and do this. I feel like this is a collective who you're smart, you know what you're dealing with here, so stay knowing who you're dealing with here. Don't let this person take the reins. And you might need to kind of like take some time and continue to kind of affirm that like this person, you know, boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? I think this person shows you that, at least with them, right? There is something about the people in your guys' lives that higher power. Mirror, who or what is triggering you? There's something about the people in your guys' lives meant to be. I will say, don't be Delulu. You know you're not Delulu. I think that in your next 2 interactions with this person, if this person, I'm almost seeing somebody like praying to God for kind of a sign because you're not fully sure what's up. And I feel like you kind of are like, okay, God or universe, if it's not really the time to be communicating with this person and they've just reached out to me or they're wanting to and I am feeling trepidatious about this, please give me a sign that, there's boundaries again. Please give me a sign that it's not the right time. And if this person has a certain energy or I'm feeling like off at all, like that kind of thing. Like you might have literally had that conversation with God. Like you might be praying about this. I'm on the fence. Awakening, energetic upgrades, a new way of being, integration. You know this person, you know they struggle with whatever this is. I almost want to say, like, you know this situation is not one where maybe you can be with this person long term. I feel like you are trusting God in that regard. And I also feel like part of this situation is teaching you boundaries here. And a grandmother of Jesus, seeding the light, laying foundations, divine plan. I feel conflicted about this reading because I understand. I know that you know the different side of this person. I know that this person has probably shown you through their dark nights of the soul moments that they know they're not a perfect person. This person's very self-aware. I feel like this person struggles with a lot of shame. I feel like this person has some intense trauma. And I feel like you love this person through that, but God has put you in a position right now where you don't get to overstep the current line in the sand that your ancestors and your guides and your higher power are wanting to draw for you. So don't dim to fit in. How are you dimming your light in order to fit in? You're not letting you're not synchronicity. You're not believing in like, okay, divine timing will make this person healed. Or you're not trying to make yourself more digestible and understandable. You're not preaching to this person or pleading to this person anymore. And I kind of feel like, truth. You see this situation. I do feel like this person's going to come in with a certain energy and they're going to want you to mirror who or what is triggering you. But you have the ability so easily to trigger this person's ego again. And like, you probably know exactly what would do that. And I feel like it's not even something like super offensive. It's just like, you know this person, you know exactly what triggers them. You've seen it. And you probably know that it would immediately, you would see this person get back into the cycle. Somebody's grandmother is either coming through here or your grandmother wants you to move on.